It is thus the case that, despite my life being occupied with many pursuits, I nonetheless managed to thoroughly investigate the Jinas states. Look, gentlemen, is it not fitting that the matters of this chapter should astonish and delight us when we could directly experience the real existence of Ginas, lands and people? It will be astonishing that in the first third of the 18th century, when the superstitious Philips no longer reigned, the very same Don Juan de Muir y Aguirre, former governor of San Marcos de Aracoa in Peru, blindly believed in the existence of multiple mysterious islands across all the seas of the world. This was because from Gomera and La Palma they sent more or less fantastic reports to the general and the royal audience about the repeated appearances of the dreamt islands, reports that produced, says Vieira, new fevers of the marvelous in the spirits, moving them to attempt for the fourth time the discovery of the Enoentrabada island. The truth is that the Enoentrabada or Encubierta has not been seen by mortals since the 18th century to date, because the aggressive skepticism that has been reigning in the world since the encyclopedia deserves nothing but that the veil of Maya, which covers such mysterious ethereal or fourth-dimensional entities, becomes thicker and denser. The Enoentrabada or Encubierta Island, more commonly known as San Barandon, says Benitez in his History of the Canary Islands, is one of those enchanted countries that have preoccupied the moderns as much as the Golden Fleece did the ancients. And indeed, they had powerful reasons for it, because, effectively, from the islands of La Palma, Gomera, and El Hierro, it was often seen to the WSW of the first and the WNW of the latter, running from N to S. A mountainous land which, according to the most generally accepted calculation, would be 40 leagues from La Palma, and could have, we do not know how it was measured, about 87 leagues long by 28 wide, and that, since it was sometimes seen from the southwest of Tenerife, could be at 28 degrees and a few minutes north latitude. On April 3, 1570, Dr. Hernán Pérez de Grado, the first regent of the Audiencia of the Canary Islands, issued a provision to the islands of La Palma, Gomera, and El Hierro, to make an exact investigation with as many people as had observed the appearance of such a land, or who, by any other means, had proof of its existence. By virtue of such information, the Portuguese pilot Pedro Vello, a native of Setúbal, deposed in La Palma, saying that, due to a storm, he landed on the Enoentrabada island with 2 of his crew, and there he witnessed such and such marvels, extraordinary phenomena, traces of giants, etc. Then, at dawn, the sky clouded over, a horrendous hurricane blew, and he, fearing losing his ship, returned to the vessel more than quickly. As soon as they set sail, they lost sight of the land, and after the storm ceased, they tried to return to it, being utterly unable to find it again, which left them very upset, especially because 2 men of the crew had been left abandoned in the dense forest. This true Ginas story, which I present here to your mercies, is taken verbatim from old chronicles. Ancient traditions, very respectable ones, say that during the golden age of Latium and Liguria, the divine king Janus or Saturn, Iao Bacchus, Jehovah, ruled over those holy people, all Aryan tribes, though of very different times and origins. Then, as in the same era of the Hebrew people, it could be said that Ginas and men lived happily together. Jana, Yana, Gyana or Gnosis is none other than the science of Janus, that is, the science of initiatic knowledge, the science of Enoichion, or the seer, and the variants of his name are such that in each language, there is one, such as Jan, Chhan or Kn, Dan, Dzn, Djn, Jane, Jien, Ion, Quan, Swan, Thanos, Tijan, all equivalent to the highest conception of a planetary spirit, the regent of Saturn, a Nazada, a Kabir in the fullest sense of the word. For me, the Jinas science is not an opinion but an established truth, and if you want me to show it to you through lived experience, listen patiently to the following account. 30 times I had seen the autumn leaves fall in my present reincarnation when I had to work consciously and positively with the doctrine of the Ginas or Janas. One night of wonders, Lytolantes, my priestess wife, gave me a sublime invitation. I was resting in the nuptial bed, with my body relaxed, on my back, dorsal decubitus. I must assert with some solemnity and for the good of the great cause, that at those moments I was in a state of alert novelty, alert perception. I was dozing attentively and vigilantly like a sentinel in wartime. Obviously, I longed with infinite thirst for something extraordinary. After the usual invocations, I felt as if another human being was lying on my relaxed body, exactly over those covers, blankets, or serapes that deliciously protected me from the night's cold. Undoubtedly it was Lytolantes. I recognized her by her voice when she vehemently called me by my first name. "Let's go," she said, "let's go. Let's go," and I, who had always eagerly awaited this moment, quickly got up from the bed. It is clear and evident that by getting up in this way, aided, I in fact crossed the barrier of the speed of light, then standing next to the bed of penitent and anchorite, with my physical body well immersed in the fourth dimension. Any sincere Gnostic could certainly do the same if at the moments of beginning to doze they concentrated intensively on their divine Mother Nature, particular, individual. A very special magic formula is the following. I believe in God. I believe in my Mother Nature. And I believe in white magic. My Mother, take me with my body. Amen. Thousands of times this prayer is recited in moments of wanting to doze. However, it is worth not forgetting that common saying that goes, praying to God and with the hammer giving. Very lightly drowsy, get up from the bed, supplicating, and then jump with the intention of floating in the surrounding environment. Have faith as a grain of mustard and you will move mountains. If you do not manage to float, get back into your bed and repeat the experiment. Many succeed immediately and others take months and even whole years to achieve their entry into the Ginas paradises. After this small but important indicative digression, let us continue with our story. I left my bedroom with a firm and determined step, crossed a small patio, and headed for the street. A certain group of very elderly ladies, giving me way with much reverence, bowed respectfully to my insignificant person who is worth nothing. I thanked the special deference. I left the city closely followed by that group of Ginas people. I headed towards the nearby mountains. I felt as if I had sunk into a remote ancient lunar past. I understood that I had entered the lower cosmos. I was subjected to tests of courage by being made to pass over deep chasms. Floating in the surrounding environment of the fourth vertical, accompanied by Lytolantes and the whole group of Ginas people, I crossed the stormy ocean and reached a certain secret place in old Europe. I bravely entered a certain castle, where I was amazed to see a strange symbol under which there was a crucifix. The return to my mansion was relatively easy, for it is a law in the fourth dimension that everything returns to its original starting point. Lytolantes and I very happily discussed all this. Obviously, we had achieved a wonderful triumph. Days later we continued with these experiments. We learned to put the physical body into the upper cosmos. Today, from direct experience, we know that with the help of the divine Kundalini Mother, we can put the physical body in the state of Jinas to travel through the upper cosmos.